This is AFTV VIP, the official web app with members-only content, has no ads and a live in-game match center. The bias predictor, it has daily polls and the AFTV 11 selector. Just one click away.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're watching from. Welcome to AFTV. You have tuned into the stats review show of the Benfica vs Arsenal Europa League game yesterday night. How are you, James? How are you feeling?
I'm okay. Feels right to be on this side now with you back on. That feels normal. That feels better.
It does. Go on.
Yeah. No, sorry. No, I feel fine. I feel okay. A lot of people disappointed yesterday, but my expectations weren't as high as other people's for yesterday's game, so I feel okay.
That's interesting. We're going to get into that in a second. We're going to talk about the title straight away. I just wanted to quickly say, make sure you guys check out AFTV Picks this week for the Man City game. It is the big one, Xbox Series X, available for anyone that beats Robbie and, well, wins, really, and a share of £1,000. It's really annoying because I do it every week. But this one, it's annoying because you can't rig it. Like, of all days, I would rig this. I'm an Xbox fan, so I want the Series X, and it's so hard to get hold of. But go and check it out, guys. Go involved. I really want the Xbox.
Every time you're pitching the prizes, there's always like a little 10-second monologue where you're like, I really want this prize.
Yeah. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X is like, I wanted at least one of them, and I just see them getting shipped out to people that won. But fair play to whoever wins. They deserve it. I was going to move straight to the title of the show. Obviously, did we settle for a draw? The reason why we chose this is it's a split. It's split down the fan base that I've spoken to. XYZ110 says, is that a rhetorical question? Sure, we did. The team was like, okay, at least we don't lose this. See, I don't think we settled to a draw until the last round, about the last 10 minutes, which I think here we got a guy here. Dodeep09 says, no, Saka said it himself that the team went for the win. If we took our chances, the tie would be over. The last 10 minutes, and the last 10 minutes were a bit cautious, he says. And that's how I kind of felt. Did we settle for a draw? And James rightly predicted a 1-1 draw. So yeah, big up James. And from looking at everything, we should have won. We definitely should have won, but it didn't seem to be our day.
I went in. Look, I love the optimism in Arsenal fans yesterday. You know, it shows how Arteta's turned things around to a degree, how the players have turned things around. That we were saying 3-1, we'll smack them up. 3-1, we'll do it. And I thought, hold on, I know we're not at their ground, but
okay,
they come out of this with a respectable score, you know. And also, they're no mugs. They've got some decent players in there. The likes of Julian Weigl, you know, who is in his good years and was a very talented youngster at one point. Centre-backs, Otamendi, Vertonghen, they're not finished. They're perfectly good. Left-back, Grimaldo, Everton, Suarez, you point out. They've got some good players in there. Ultimately, look, Benfica weren't very good. I expected a better side. And actually, we'll talk a little bit about what they did tactically that made things difficult for us. But I don't know. I just thought, you guys watched Arsenal in Europe of late. We don't make it easy. People saying, 3-1. Well, no, we don't make it easy in Europe. We never really have in the away leg. You know, think about Rennes. You know, we lost 3-1. We turned it around to the Emirates by beating them 3-0. But we kind of, I don't know, we have that look at Olympiacos. I don't know. I just felt that people were being a little bit too optimistic. But I couldn't really explain why. I just thought, probably a 1-1 here. I think they'll know that this game's crucial for them, and they might have that little bit extra. But anyway,
yeah, fair. All right, well, guys, you know what you're here for. We have a structure to the show. We've got the fun facts to pop up that you may not have known from the game yesterday, and we'll get onto some further topics after the stats. So, James,
well, let's go straight into it with the match stats here. So obviously 7 shots to their 6. We had their 4 shots on target to our 2. We have 59% of the possession. We completed 200 more passes. We are next year 1.4 to their 0.3. Now, this is really, really interesting because I know we had 7 shots. Do you remember I asked you and Laurie in the office, how many shots do you think we had?
Yeah.
And you guys, you weren't saying ludicrous numbers. You guys were saying 11, 12, 15, 13 maybe, which, by the way, is a pretty low count. But we registered 14, which is the lowest number of shots we've had in a game since the Man City quarter-final where we lost 4-1. And by the way, that includes the Wolves game where we played the whole second half with 10 men and then 20 minutes of it with 9. You know, we still had more shots in that game than we did in this one. So for all the passing, I thought some of the better aspects to our play yesterday was our progression. I thought we made our way up the pitch quite well. Some of the football was nice. We got into good areas. We looked like Odegaard was thriving in that a little bit. And we'll talk about him more in a bit. But we weren't getting shots away. We weren't really testing their keeper. 2 shots on target against a team that poor. They're really bad. They're really not very good. And by the way, I say that because they might knock us out and I'll look stupid. I don't care. We should be beating this team. If they knock us out, I'll look more at us than them because they weren't great.
Agree, James. Do you think it was being too cute in just trying to make like the perfect goal, like the old? Just because I think there was times where players might be able to shoot, but they just wanted to get, like, you know, make the perfect goal, shall I say? The old Arsenal, in a sense, was too acute at times. They weren't letting off the shot, but yeah, man,
to a degree, yeah.
I know what you're saying. It. Go on.
We got into areas where I think the team. I think the first half, for all that was said, wasn't bad. We were on the front foot for most of it.
100%.
We really had them pinned in their half. I don't think Arsenal played badly yesterday, by the way. I really don't. I don't think we played as well as we could have and should have. But the chances were there. And there were a few moments where Aubameyang, Xhaka with 1, Aubameyang with 2 or 3, they were in really good goal scoring positions. And it's not like they hit the target and it was saved. It's like, oh, you should have done better. You should have scored. They just didn't even hit the target.
Facts.
And like it was almost like it went to their head a little bit yesterday. And that was slightly worrying. I think the next tie, the interesting thing is that when all is said and done about this, we are actually ahead. If no more goals are scored, we go through. So we are leading this tie. That's the interesting bit.
Okay, before we move on to the starting 11 and go back and look at the team that was selected and our thoughts on it, I just want to quickly touch on something quickly. Aubameyang. I wanted him to start. I think he was going to be the guy to unlock the defense, running in behind. He's the guy I thought, you know what, as a striker, that's what we need. They play a high line. The way to get this goal is make sure Aubameyang starts. However, we had 10 offsides yesterday. 4 of them were from Aubameyang alone, right? This is what really frustrated me with this yesterday. Aubameyang is an elite striker. No matter how you look at him this season, he's elite. He's an elite world-class striker. He should know, I might say, the second offside that they're playing a high line. If I just hold my run a little bit extra, then I'll be onside and we can get this goal. Yes, he had chances to win the game yesterday, but he could have had more. And then this is one example I want to bring up. I don't know if you guys must have watched the game, but there was a moment where the ball got played through. Otamendi was closer to the ball than Aubameyang. He was like, I think, about 2 yards in front. Aubameyang was then speeded past him and shot the ball across goal. Okay, so he had the run of Otamendi. So I don't know why he was offside so much. I don't know why he didn't hold his run enough. So, and you can say the ball could have been played earlier, but I think for Aubameyang at the level he's at, with the players that were slipping the balls through, like the Odegaards, the Smith Rowes, the Sakas, you can say that maybe for the first 1 or 2, but when it comes to 4, you should know when to hold your run and utilize and exploit their high line. So that is one thing that really stood out to me, was he was offside way too much and didn't read the game quick enough to create more chances. And he should have had a hat trick really yesterday, in all honesty.
Yeah, I saw a great tweet saying Benfica are catching us with the offside trap by accident. It's so true.
It's true. Facts.
Like, it's true that they I don't think they really knew what they were doing. We were just sorry, I'm trying to fix some lighting here to my right.
No worries.
I don't think they really knew, that they were catching us out. Like, I think they intended to, but we made it so easy. The space was there, and you're right. Just time your runs better. It was very disappointing at times. But on that, sorry, go on.
No, I was gonna go on. You go, because I was going to mention, obviously, something that's quite serious. It just in the press with young player. But yeah.
Well, maybe this is a good time to mention now, because if we just have a little look at the starting 11, we'll chat about this. But one player in particular who's in there, Eddie Nketiah. I know we just wanted to say something. I think we should reiterate this at the end of the show as well. I'll let you lead this one, Cecil, as you just brought it up.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna speak about it again as well in the quiz before I do my quiz tonight on Instagram for AFTV. But I don't know if you guys obviously have heard or saw that Eddie Nketiah was racially abused on social media, Twitter to be precise. And it's, I mean, the thing that frustrates me is that we spoke about this. I mean, what, 2 days ago?
We spoke about this so much this week.
2 days, like literally, like
2 or 3 separate shows, man.
Yeah, and I was said before, like the worst problem within football is racism in football, and I don't know why it's just not being. Yes, it's being looked at. It's being looked at. You're doing the knee. You're saying there's Black Lives Matter bands around the stadiums and stuff, but I don't want. It's the most heaviest subject, and it shouldn't be. It should be something that we should be able to speak about, and it shouldn't be such an issue, but it is, and it exhausts me doing these talks all the time and talking about race and how it's been affected. But the kid that racially abused Eddie Nketiah, I think, like I've said this before, the punishments aren't strong enough. You get a slap on the wrist. The kid's been banned from Twitter permanently, but like, come on. What's okay?
What's to stop him making another account?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm on Sky Sports. It's on the Sky Sports website here. Just so I'm just going to quickly give what they've said. So Eddie Nketiah, Twitter permanently suspends an account after abuse towards Arsenal striker Eddie Nketiah told to leave club in racist message on social media. Twitter permanently suspends the account. Reference Arsenal chief executive Vinay. How do you explain to black footballer that pirated content is taken down in minutes, but not racist abuse? That's facts. Like if you put up a video, if I put up a video on AFTV or my page and it has music rights that belong to someone else, that is instantly before, I think, but as soon as I click share, within a second, that is taken down saying this has rights that don't belong to you, blah, blah, appeal it. But when it comes to racism, boy, they leave it up there, the emojis, the terminology used, the N-word. Yeah, that can just stay there. That for some reason, that's fine. So that's one thing, very frustrating. I spoke about this earlier as well. I said my young nephews, they're 7 years old, and when we watch football together and they say, why are they doing the knee and the Black Lives Matter? Like, what does this mean? Do you know, I spoke about this in the week, and I kind of explained why it annoyed me, the knee and the Black Lives Matter banners, because I have to explain it. And when I have to explain it to them, the thought I have to go back to is, well, this started because of George Floyd, and I have to explain that situation to them. Whenever it's so frustrating. Like all these, when I'm speaking to them, I have to explain. Oh yeah, a guy was killed because he had a knee on his neck, and this is where this all kind of started. Of course, there's racial incidents that go way further back than that, but that is why this has all been invoked, and it keeps happening. They keep taking the knee, and it's traumatizing just to keep explaining, going through it. I feel for Eddie Nketiah, a young player. No one should resort to racism. It's so frustrating. Like, yeah, it is. It's tiring. It really is. And I know we all say it. Like a lot of black people I speak to, we're just tired. Like we're tired of it. Yeah,
and you know, like I can hear and I can see like how much this upsets you and how much it upsets so many people, and like it more needs to be done. 3 times this week we have spoken about abuse, twice about racial abuse in the space of how many days? Come on. This is a world in which, as you said, broadcast rights protected in 2 seconds. Yeah, if I post a clip from Sky Sports, not mine, bam, down.
Yeah,
can't do that. Facts. Account suspended. Blah blah. They're pretty quick to do that, right? We had a lot to say earlier in the week. and tackling this now, it's like, wow, like it's happened again. It's been a few days. Eddie and Ketia, like we're with you, like we stick by you. Head up, man. Like one of the best youngsters that we've produced from the academy in a long time. He's part of a real talented Hale End group. And you know what? I've questioned whether he'll make it at Arsenal. Doesn't matter. The fact that he's played the games he's played, appearances in FA Cup finals, whatever, he's done great. As has Joe Willock, Reece Nelson, all these other players. A massive credit to them. And Eddie, hope wishing you all the best. And like come on, like Twitter, Insta, everyone, like do better, man, do better. And the people doing it do better.
It is. It's annoying. Like people saying, well, "What do you do instead of taking a knee and stuff?" It's just like this needs to be more black people in power, in my opinion, in the PFA and the football league, in the EFL, the FA, UEFA. Sorry, there's that. There's the social media needs to do better. That's a simple thing. The knee doesn't really do anything. Honestly, it doesn't do anything. Like it shows that you're supporting it, but we know you're supporting the football well. We assume you know that you're supporting it. You don't have to take a knee to show that. Like when fans come back, like are you still going to do it? That was my question way back. Do you remember? I think when this was a lot, I think of like at least four months ago, I said like, are they still going to take the knee when fans are back? And yeah, they probably will. But Millwall booed it. Like it's just disrespectful. They booed when the players took knee. That it's not symbolised enough. I'd rather you do more than just take a knee. Do you know what I mean? Especially just for a second before a game.
People are starting to talk out a bit more about the taking the knee and giving their thoughts on it and maybe explaining why they don't particularly like it. So it's interesting to see what will happen with that. But yeah, but Lowe, absolutely right to bring that up.
We're gonna
that's crucial. That's really important. And actually I'm glad we picked sort of before we go deep into the game, because Nketiah was on the bench. He traveled with the team. Obviously he didn't get on the pitch. But that doesn't mean that what he's going through off the pitch, isn't important. It's all, we've got to talk about it and talk about it with you guys. So yeah.
Just Eddie, if you're watching, probably won't. You might see this. I don't know. We support you all the way from everyone at AFTV and everyone that's been affected by racism in some capacity. I definitely, we stand by you. I'm going to message him today after this. I'm going to message him and hopefully it'd be really good if I can get him on the live. Probably not going to happen, but he probably won't see it. But it's just I'm going to give it a go. We're going to move back. Yeah, we'll move back to the game. And just quickly before we end up, like the amount of times we've spoken about this in a week should be a flag enough to realize like there's still a problem. Yeah. It literally it's been a week. Okay, cool. Absolutely. Back to
should we go back to that starting 11?
Let's go back to the starting 11. Yes, let's do
that.
Right.
So I'm gonna be a bit rude here, Cecil, and just
let me move this.
Take over for a second and just sort of give my thoughts on this. Give my thoughts on this. Really, I was shocked. I was a little surprised to see the same 11. I wouldn't say disappointed. I wasn't disappointed, but I was surprised because I really thought he'd rested a few players for that Leeds game, or at least at the time I said it was an experimental 11 to try a few different things. But actually, he's ended up going with the exact same team. He's gone with Smith Rowe on the left, and I don't know. It surprised me. Did it surprise you?
Yeah, it did. I just remember what I said. I said it's all well and good keeping the same team, but I don't think personally I didn't want Smith Rowe to start. I don't know if I'm going to get killed for that. I don't know if everyone else's thoughts, but I just said he seems like a player that is still trying to get to full match fitness. He should be rested. I wanted Pepe to start, which is for me, that's a big change.
Man, that's coming from you. Wow.
Yeah, so I said, you know what? I think Pepe deserves to start. Smith Rowe, I believe he needs a rest, and that would be my change. I said if Kieran Tierney is available, then I would have taken Bellerin out and swapped Cedric, and I would have taken Bellerin out and put Cedric there, and then put Kieran Tierney in. But that is it. That is it.
I mean, Lacazette Pepe, they didn't do anything to deserve being dropped. Holding, I would debate, maybe did a little bit, but again, not really. So it was interesting that he felt the need to completely change the 11 like that. Completely change the 11 for Leeds, but then stick with it. I really thought I thought the Leeds game was going to be, for example, Odegaard coming in. I thought that was maybe him saying, let's see what Odegaard can offer. But then he probably won't start the Benfica game. I don't know. It was a weird one. And we keep talking about Smith Rowe needing a rest at some point. But I'll ask you, in hindsight, did he get it wrong sticking with the same 11? And by the way, I'm not criticizing the manager. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. We can all, in hindsight, say, oh, well, actually, they looked weak down the wing, so Pepe should have played. You know, like we can all say that. Aubameyang didn't take his chances, so Lacazette should have played. We can all say that. But do you think in hindsight he did get it wrong?
Do you know what? I'm going to say no. I think he got the substitutions timings wrong. Okay.
Right, okay.
So at half time, Smith Rowe should have come off, in my opinion. I mean, but the first half I think was great from Arsenal, but they were really at it. It was a really intense first half. And you could see that Smith Rowe was tired. He was tired. So I would have took Smith Rowe off at half time. And the Martinelli involvement should have been a bit earlier. But
yeah,
the starting 11, I don't think he got it wrong. There's one thing though, I can't remember saying this. I do feel for Pepe in a sense of we have Man City next, and it only results in that Pepe must have been dropped because he wasn't rested. We thought he was rested in Leeds for this game in the Europa League. He wasn't. He came on off the bench, and then Man City. I don't think personally Arteta's resting him for that game. So
yeah, and that's the interesting thing. I said there was one good thing when I was in the starting 11 show. I said there was one good thing about the 11 that I liked. Clearly, Arteta's not said, I'm going to rest players for this. I'm going to rotate a bit for that. I'm going to make... No, he's gone, this is my best team. They won. So I'm going to play my best team again. And then he'll probably play his best team for the City game. And that is kind of like, actually, fair play. You're not kind of worrying about this whole tiredness thing. You're just going to play what you think is the best 11. I've got one issue, though. And anyone who knows and watches me regularly... What?
Is it our best 11, though?
Well, he clearly thinks it is, or thought it was for the time. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay,
but anyone who watches us regularly knows that we're Arteta fans. Knows that I back the guy a lot. I back him more than. But I want to be really real about this. I want to be honest, and sometimes that means I criticize him. Then people go, "Why aren't you backing the manager?" But hear me out. Arteta went on a bit of a I wouldn't call it a rant, but he had a few words to say after we beat Southampton 3-1, a few days after we lost 1-0 to them in the Cup. Now, a lot of us Arsenal fans, me included, were furious about the 11 we saw in that Cup game because we felt he managed the rotation wrong. And he gave us this big thing about how we have too many games. I wasn't prepared to play the same players. I wasn't prepared to put them in that position. It wouldn't be fair on them, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. I hear what you're saying. I mean, not fair enough. I still disagreed, but I kind of got what he was saying. He was basically quietly admitting I threw away the cup because we got other things to do. Fine. Yep. We since went on a pretty bad run in the league. Drew at home to United. Okay, that's not terrible. Then lost the next 2 games to Wolves and Villa. That's not great. We then go into a Benfica game after a Leeds game. The Benfica game is the first leg, so it's not the most crucial one. And the Leeds game, well, I think we all admit we're not going to do anything in the league, so that wasn't particularly crucial. And he's played the same 11 in both. So the whole I'm not gonna do this to players. I'm not just gonna force them through football and play them loads because it's not fair on them. That whole excuse doesn't really rack up here because Lacazette wasn't in bad form. So why did he play one of those? He didn't even come on. Yeah. Pepe wasn't in bad form. In fact, he was in very good form. So why didn't he play in one of those? He brought on Martinelli quite quickly yesterday, but didn't feel he was worthy of a game against Leeds, maybe, or even a start yesterday. And Smith Rowe, who was injury prone before, was playing a handful of games for the under-23s, had barely made many appearances for the first team, suddenly starts, 10, 11 games in a row?
Yeah.
Or 11 out of 12? That doesn't make sense to me. So that's where I have an issue with the manager here. It might be a petty thing to get on his case about, but I really do feel that was slightly mismanaged. When you look back at what he said before, that's all I'll say on it. When you look back at what he said before, it's not very consistent. But I don't really have a problem with the 11 we saw.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I remember the commentators saying loud that they were like, "This is the first time Arteta has picked the same team in back-to-back fixtures." Yeah, so
yeah.
I mean, whether he was trying something, maybe he wanted more consistency. Maybe he felt this is the time to do this. That might have been on his mind. He hasn't done it yet, and that normally works in your favor because the team knows who they're playing with. They understand, especially off the back of a good big win. They think, yeah, we know what to expect. But like I said, I don't think he got the starting 11 wrong. I just think the substitutions, he didn't give the players to come on enough time. I know you have a different opinion, but that is where I think he kind of messed up last night. I
agree with that. Look, I don't have a problem with the 11. I have a problem with something that was said a good month back. I know it might sound really petty, but what he said a while back about after the cup game that I think took us fans for mugs a little bit. And actually what's come after hasn't really followed suit. Yeah. So it's a bit like, okay, I'm not sure that was really true. But let's have a look at that first half. I mean, there's not a lot to say, really. Aubameyang missed a sitter. But I thought one of the standout players was Danny Ceballos in that. I'd love to know what people in the comment section are saying about this because he divided opinion, which I can't believe. I can't believe this performance is what's dividing opinion. Some people weren't... I know, I can see you putting a face in the back room there, Cecil. Some people thought he was poor, thought he took too long on the ball. But what I'll tell you is that he ranked very high in all these things. The amount of passes, his pass accuracy, people said he lost the ball. Well, 92.5% pass accuracy is not bad at all. When you look at the ball over the top for Xhaka that led to us scoring the goal in the end, his through ball to Bellerin. I thought he played some lovely passes. I thought he was brilliant. He had the second most passes in the opposition half. He was right up there for touches, third, fourth, something like that. Tackles and interceptions, and he had the second most possession gains as well. So, guys, I don't know where I am with people who don't rate Ceballos. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone is absolutely entitled to their opinion. And if you don't... I'm not saying you have to think he's the answer, but surely you think he offers something.
Yeah.
This is the thing that annoys me. People are so quick to get on a player like Ceballos, who doesn't really do much wrong. Okay, he might not do as much as you'd like him to do, but he doesn't do much wrong. Why do people get on him so quick when there are other players who... I'm not encouraging, like, criticizing them more, but I'm just saying, like, really, Ceballos is the person we've got a problem with? Yeah, thank you. Nibetita. Yeah, I agree. He was class.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just me, but I find it baffling, really. He did his bit yesterday. He did his bit, absolutely.
He did, and do you know what? I've been critical of him. He's one that I had a question mark over for a long time. I was like, But yesterday, you can't fault his performance. Do you know what? Even the Leeds game, like, you can't fault his performance.
He's great.
Both games, he's been playing really well. I don't know. Definitely last night as well. He had a really good game. He's what we've needed. Do you know what I mean?
The midfield hasn't been the problem, right? We lost Partey. Ceballos came in, and the midfield has functioned. Yeah, right. So I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. What's Mace saying? James of the Stats, please tell us how many back passes Xhaka made yesterday. I'd love to have that, actually. I'll have a little look. But actually, I'm going to touch on Xhaka in a bit because there is something that frustrates me about his performance. But before we do, let's move into the second half and Emile Smith-Rowe. Now, we'll talk about the penalties in a sec. But the first thing I wanted to bring up was in this stats review show after the Leeds game, I talked about how Smith-Rowe was out. Is that about Ceballos?
Yeah.
Oh, give me a break, man.
Oh my God. I thought that one would catch you.
Do you know what? Let's just move on.
I was going to quickly say the answer to that is look at all the where's the midfield goals across the board. Yeah, that like you look at
look at if you want to know where our goals went. Look at Aubameyang, right? And we'll talk about him in a bit. But I love Aubameyang. I was defending him yesterday, but that's where it went wrong. But if I want to talk about Smith-Rowe quickly, we'll talk about the penalty in a sec. But Smith-Rowe was playing out on the left. but he wasn't getting on the ball in central areas as much as he did against Leeds. And one of the things we spoke about in the last Stats Review show was that 50% of his touches came in central areas, which was it showed that there was a degree of interchangeability between him and Odegaard and Aubameyang as to who occupied that left-hand side, with Cedric overlapping. But if you look at his touch map yesterday, very out wide, very tucked out there, which is not what we want to see from our wide players. But we've looked better when they've been coming inside and getting involved with our striker, our 10. It wasn't his best performance, but I'm not going to put that on him. I really think he needs a rest, bless him. I really do. He's been superb, consistently superb, actually. I just think he needs a rest. I don't know. And on the penalty, do you think it was a penalty?
Yes. At first, I was like, probably not. But his hand was in an unnatural position. It was a penalty. His hand was up here. It's harsh, but I've seen them given. So I don't even, nowadays the rules, they're just whatever they are. But yeah, in my opinion, I didn't argue it too much. And if I'm honest, nor did he.
You didn't protest at all, did
he? Didn't protest it at all. That
was probably the only disappointing thing.
Yeah.
Come on, but I think it's a pen. It's unfortunate it's a pen. I think it probably is. I can't say that VAR or anything did us dirty there. So yeah, but there was a really good response from the team. I really appreciated the way we came flying out straight after. Ceballos' ball over the top kind of starts the move. And then obviously it falls out to Odegaard, and what a ball. And actually we're going to talk about Odegaard at the very end of the show. But that pass threaded through to Cedric, that was quality, wasn't it? That was exactly what we signed him for.
Bro. I'm not gonna get ahead. No, I'm gonna get ahead of myself. It was Ozil-esque. It was Ozil-esque.
It was Ozil-esque.
It was.
Ozil makes that pass, we go nuts for it.
Do you know what, right? This is gonna sound mad, right? The game was poor yesterday, but the feeling I had watching Odegaard, that is why I love football for the art of it and technical players and players that see things that we don't see, and like the little nuances in football. And I know, James, you're a fan of it as well. And you watching Odegaard yesterday, you saw me, like I was sat there shouting, like, did you see that pass? Like the game, I was like, yeah, whatever, Aubameyang missed, we should have won the game. But I still enjoyed yesterday for players like Odegaard. Like it's nice to see. And people I remember I said yesterday, like people are telling me he's going to be the best player in the Premier League and he's world class and that. And I'm honest, I didn't watch loads of him, but I can see in him just from the two games he's played.
There's a potential there for him to develop into a really good player.
Exactly, but I'm going to look forward to watching him more and his Arsenal campaign. I'm excited. So yeah, no, he was class yesterday. We're going to speak about him later as well. I kind of just said
he was very, very good, and so was Starman himself, Starboy himself, Bukayo. I'll be honest, I don't think he was his best game, but also he looked more like doing anything than any other player. And he looked like getting into dangerous areas. And I'm so glad he got his goal. Very, good movement, actually a good finish because slightly behind him. So he just sort of leans back, gets his foot around it, and just tucks it into the net. Came for a lovely goal, a lovely build up. Brilliant by Cedric. Just big up Bukayo, man. He's so good. He's so good, and I'm really, really happy for him. And we're not going to talk too much about him today. We've spoken about him a lot in other shows. But he was, he was the difference in the end. He's the reason we're ahead in this tie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So I said definitely. I just wanted to. Obviously, I'm not going to spend too long on him, but yeah, Saka always, for me, it goes without saying. I don't really speak about him because I would speak about him every week, every game, actually. In fact, he's never off form. So big up Saka. It's a shame we didn't go ahead because I just thought his intelligence yesterday of going down and winning fouls to slow down Benfica's attacks was perfect. And when we had the balls, he was very smart in his game management, as he always is. So big up him. I see you guys' comments as well about Odegaard, comparing him as well to Ozil. Big up you lot. Because that's what I think as well. I'm
having a little look. We've got super chat here. I'm just going to take this now. Tor, Tor Magnus. What an amazing name.
Well, yeah, I was just about to say that. What a sick
name. I love that. Because I know Odegaard, you have only seen 5% of him. Just wait and see. We have a diamond on our hand. He will go to Arsenal in the summer.
This is what everyone is. Everyone is saying this.
Excited. I just got really excited.
But everyone is saying this. They're saying like, I don't know what everyone messaged me. You guys, you don't understand who you've got, and I'm like, listen. I hope he fulfills that potential. I mean, I can't call him potential because he was potential at 15 years old at Real Madrid. But I'm just saying, I just hope he fulfills all this talk of how excellent he is. And to be fair, yesterday I see the glimpses of it. I think when he gets more comfortable, he'll work on his finishing as well. I think that's an area that we need in the Arsenal team, goals from midfield. So I need him to work on that. But the class of how he plays and floats around the pitch, I love it.
He was very classy. All things Arsenal. Did you see the pass? I think he means the Saka. Right. We're gonna end on him because we're gonna end. He might or might not have been our man of the match. But we'll leave that to the end. But on to more more negative tone about our midfield. I'm going to talk about Granit Xhaka. Now, this isn't a criticism of Xhaka per se. He had a poor game, but look, I'm not going to say he was due one, but he's been very consistent for us. So I'm not going to get on his back about it. But I want to talk about more the role he played because I want to show you his touch map against Benfica yesterday. Very central left. Doesn't get that high. Never got in the box, but that's okay. I mean, he never does. But look at that kind of congested area in that left centre back, left DM kind of role, right? That is exactly where Xhaka is useless. Yep. I'm going to use that word, useless.
Yep.
In that position, you get nothing from him. What is the point in signing a left-footed ball-playing football back? Oh, sorry. 2 left-footed ball-playing centre-backs in Gabriel and Mari, only to tell Xhaka to keep going into that position.
I want you guys to take that in, what James just said. Please deep it. Please.
What is the point?
Thank you.
There's no point.
Please take it in. And do you know what? You might be thinking, not what they're talking about. What are they talking about? But
good question. What am I talking about? Thank you, Cecil.
Go on.
If I go to the Chelsea game where I thought he had his best game for us in a long time.
Oh, you've got this touch. Oh,
that's his touch map.
Thank you very much.
Everywhere. Influencing the game from everywhere. Getting around the pitch. Now, I think a part of that is because El Neni played, and El Neni played as the DM, whereas with Ceballos gets forward more. I hear that, but there's got to be a better balance to it. Because against Chelsea here, where I thought he was superb, he was, I mean, look where he is in that 10 role almost. Like, he was feeding balls in behind to Martinelli, Tierney, into Lacazette, into Smith Rowe's feet. The goal against Leeds that put us 1-0 up came from Xhaka rolling it out to Aubameyang, who found space on the left. We broke it down in the build-up show. We literally recreated the goal and showed you. That's what Xhaka can do with his left foot when he's allowed a little bit more freedom up the pitch. I don't want to see this.
Yeah. And
please deep that, guys. Take it in.
Yeah, and James, that fed so well, so perfect. Just that's it. That's all it is, guys. He I don't know what it is, Xhaka, and you can watch the games, and whenever you see him drop into that left back position, right, you know he's having a bad game. Okay, James had his coffee today. You know he's having a bad game. The reason why I say this is because it's when he's playing bad. I don't know what it is. His default is like, let me just sit in that left back position, but it kills the space. His default. It's his default. You're right. But I don't know why he does it. If when his things are going bad, he does it, and it makes his game worse. Like, he needs to be that player that we saw in Chelsea and getting over on the ball, being comfortable, working play from different positions of the pitch. So yeah, that was James. That everything you had there, it lined up so perfectly. That is it. That is it. And when people say
that is not on Xhaka, by the way, I'm not putting that on Xhaka. I think partly it's on Arteta to make sure Xhaka is not playing in that role.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, I just felt it's a cop-out position. I don't know if Arteta tells him. I don't know if he naturally goes there. He needs to be influencing the play and playing as a midfielder. This left centre back role, it doesn't work for me. If you're ahead and you want to control the play and you want to control the tempo, maybe that's okay. You don't want to expose yourselves too much. Xhaka goes to left centre back, fine, but not. Yeah. People enjoyed that.
I really enjoyed that. I did. Because we said, like, yesterday I was watching it and was like, you can see it. It's so clear. Stats don't tell you everything, guys. I understand that. I fully get that. But when you have stats and your eye test, it really does tell the full picture. And we were saying, why is Xhaka going back to that same position? It's so frustrating. And it's where his inconsistency lies. I know a lot of people say for Switzerland, he's great. He's such a good player. But he doesn't do that at Switzerland. He doesn't fall back into that left back position. He doesn't sit there and occupy space. He plays a position where we see him against Chelsea and controls the whole midfield. So, yeah, that is it. Big up. Well done, James. Thank you for that. Thank you.
No, I mean, we were saying it in the game. We were saying it throughout, and we had to point it out. So, yeah, that was disappointing. But ultimately, I don't think he was the problem. I think the biggest problem was this isn't the player, but just this in general, the chances we missed.
Yeah.
I want to say something about Aubameyang here. Firstly, great to have you back. Really glad that things seem to be better with the family. It's great to have you back. People say he's not a real captain. I love that he captains our club. He is such a positive face. He engages with the fans. I love the guy. Secondly, okay, he missed chances yesterday. He missed big chances. He should have scored. I agree. He had a stinker. I agree. But actually, I've seen Aubameyang this season have stinkers where he's not getting the chances, and people say he did nothing. He wasn't involved. That's true. That is true. He was anonymous in those games. At least in this game, the chances came. And I worry more about a striker when they're not getting the chances at all than when they're just putting them wide. Because we know Aubameyang's a great finisher. He's not become a bad finisher overnight. This was just an off day. But at least he was sharp enough to get into those positions and give himself those chances. Am I being too kind?
You're being too kind. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You are. Yeah, you are.
The Strikers Union telling me that I'm okay.
Yeah, you're being too kind. And Aubameyang has a lot of credit in the bank with me as well. But I'm just saying, like, if it was any other striker, I saw in the comments if that was Nketiah, if it was any other striker, we would be grilling them. Not grilling. No, we'll be criticizing them, but giving them constructive feedback. But it's just like constructive feedback. Let's say it's like I'm at school. But being the back of a hat trick, I expected a lot more from Aubameyang. And the reason, and again, I've now said this at the beginning, this image is actually the time. This image here is the exact time where Aubameyang was behind Otamendi, and Otamendi had the run of him to get to the ball first, and Aubameyang outran him and did that strike cross goal. Aubameyang had the most offsides in the game. He should have been, yes, he had chances, but on top of that, he was being lazy, not lazy in his runs, but his runs were poor. He wasn't timing his runs right. He should have been aware that look, I've got the beating of both centre backs. I can outrun them. Why am I getting offside? And he had enough minutes on the pitch to correct that and get a goal. But
yeah,
that wasn't the case. So unfortunately, I love you, Aubameyang. Trust me, I do. And we all do. But yesterday was, I know what I spoke to. Yeah, Stricto said he cost us the game. It's harsh, but it cost us the win.
Yeah, he did. He did. But at least he was getting into those positions. And let's just remember what it was like at the beginning of the season where he wasn't even there. He wasn't even getting into it. So I take that. The second thing I'll say, because I saw a lot of fans were really on his back about it. One good game against Leeds. Lack has been dropped for this. Like, look, we wouldn't be in the Europa League if it weren't for Aubameyang. Okay, let's just remember that. So, bad night. And you know what? If it happens again in the second leg, you got to look at your leaders. Where were you when we needed it most? But still another leg to play.
Yeah, 100%. James, you're fully right there. And with that lovely pause, we're coming towards the end of the show. Now, we've spoken about him. Yeah, we've spoken about him a lot throughout the show. We do a man of the match now at the end of these shows. Guys, do let us know who your man of the match. Do you know what? Actually, it was quite split. I know this sounds crazy, but when I was speaking to people, not everyone agreed with. Yeah, they said he had a good game, but they wouldn't give this man the man of the match. But I thought he was a complete standout, and the man of the match had to have gone to the man himself, Martin Odegaard. Just the pass alone, the pass alone. No, but honestly, you can look at his stats here. Pass completion, 91.7%. I mean, that is extremely high. Key passes were 2 and passes in position half were 30. And I'm sure James will tell us these are the highest. Were they the highest?
Yeah, I mean, pass completion was up there. I don't think it was the highest, but it was up there. Key passes, I think he was up there level with someone else, maybe. Passes in the opposition half was the highest. The thing that I liked, Ceballos was very good. It could have been Ceballos, especially because of his defensive contribution as well. But the thing I liked about Martin Odegaard was he was pulling the strings, and he was getting us into positions we had no right to be in because of his wonderful left foot, because of his ability and his vision. Xhaka gets in behind, Aubameyang gets in behind, Cedric gets in behind several times because Odegaard plays a pass that nobody else in this squad can play. I think Ceballos has it in him, but like once a game, once every few games. Odegaard did it 3-4 times in a match, and I wanted to get a stat on through balls, but I couldn't actually find one. He was class, and I think, sorry for a little bit of on the spot, research.
Oh, Xhaka can as well at times as well. Yeah, you're right.
I think he also won the ball. I think there was a really good. Do you remember I read you out a possession?
Yeah, you said tackles. He had the highest amount of tackles.
Odegaard. That was it.
Yeah. He had the highest amount of tackles.
Yeah.
To be precise, that
was it. He had the highest amount of tackles. That was it. So he was doing that part of the game as well. Yeah, he was very good. He was very, very good. My man of the match. Your man of the match. Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
Martin
Big up
Odegaard.
Yeah, big up Odegaard. Obviously,
he's arrived.
He's done really well. And in the Leeds game, I said he was really good, and people were like, "All right, calm down." He was okay in the Leeds game. I said, "No, this is his debut for Arsenal, right, in the Premier League, and he's young, and I think people expected him to do absolute wonders. It's his first game, guys. Like, he got on the ball, he wasn't scared to get on the ball, and the numbers back this up. Everything I'm saying, the numbers backed up. He had the most touches. He was finding pockets of space. He was confident. He was driving with it. Yeah, he didn't put in a worldie and slip in amazing balls, but you could see he was getting a feel for, well, the Premier League, and I think he had a really good game. And this just feeds on. This next game was like a step up. He was putting those through balls in. He was seeing things that other players weren't seeing. He was still picking up balls in pockets of space. This kid has what I can see so far has a really bright future. And people can laugh and say it's only been 2 games. Relax. But we know, I know good talent. When I see it, like
the inevitable and really awkward comparison is, is he quite Ozil-esque? And I'll be honest, he is very Ozil-esque in the way he plays. I've got to say he is, and of course I'm not saying he's as good. Of course I'm not saying anything like that. Nor am I saying that I want him to be another Ozil.
We're gonna get
some. You watch him play. It's a lazy comparison, but you watch him play, and it's like there's a lot of similarities to his style, the way he carries the ball, the way he uses it. Some of the passes we saw, the attempted passes. Yeah. Very exciting.
It's nice. It's nice to see an Arsenal team. I know we've been waiting for like 10 years plus for things to click, but you like to see how it builds. Yes, he's on loan, I know, but if we can make him permanent and we can get the players in around him, I think listen. It'll be a good Arsenal side that I'll be happy to watch and enjoy it. That is the main thing. Enjoying watching our team play, because it's been a long time. So yeah. That, guys, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching, we have over 1 little piece. That is it. But thank you for staying with us. Thank you for staying tuned. Don't be bitter, be better. Be kind in a world full of hate, please. Honestly, I want to pass that message on to you all. I know you got a lot. See you guys in the comments. It's always a pleasure speaking to you, and I appreciate you guys commenting and watching. Honestly, it means the world to us. Stay tuned for more AFTV content. Have a wonderful Friday, and make sure you check out AFTV Picks. Like I said, this week is a share of £1,000 and an Xbox Series X. Jump on that, get involved, and come and join in on my Instagram live tonight. It's a quiz. You win a prize. It's always banter. It's always good laughs. We'll see you again very soon.